we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, when we talk about the task at hand, moving the needle on equity, the reality is for even the people who don't see themselves as gaining anything in this pursuit, the reality is we are all missing out on what a more diverse, equitable, and fair society will render.
We have small behavioral changes that we each can make that can have a real tangible impact on diversity and inclusion. And it involves a number of things, right? So whether that is, being very intentional and setting up time with someone very different from you, changing up your diet so that you are reading books and articles and watching movies that maybe bring a different perspective, that you're looking around the tables that you're sitting at, virtual Zoom tables, right? The meetings that you're in, and asking yourself, whether or not you have all of the perspectives that you need to have.
When you're thinking about intersectionality and wanting to really center around those who are most marginalized, that has to be genuine. That has to come from a place of where you are shifting within yourself. And so to just come up with a statement without any sort of acknowledgement of history or any sort of concrete, this is how we're going to move forward, then it's just performance.
I tell people that once you say that you were intentional, ask yourself, could I have been another level of intentional? Because the issues that we're facing are so deep-seated, the disparities are so deep-seated, that oftentimes our first take at an issue requires a second and a third and a fourth take to ensure that we're thinking about the communities who are layered under the oppression that we're seeking to rid our country and our society of.
This is the time for us to realize and understand that we don't know it all and that we either need help or that we need to figure out how to do things differently and accept the fact that things are just not working. And that's okay, right? Either say, I'm sorry, you know what? I should have been better about being an ally. I should have been better about being there for you. I should have said something when something happened that impacted the African American community, and I chose to ignore that. And I'm sorry for that, but I'm here now, and let's again, figure it out together.
And one of the first things that I recognized is that I needed to be vulnerable to learning. I needed to step out of the way when there were other voices that needed to be amplified. I needed to bring in community partners who could educate us and help us really learn about the experience. Because while I identify myself as LGBTQ+, I am white, and my experience is a white experience. And so I cannot speak for the experience of a Black LGBTQ+ identified individual. And it's important to bring those voices in, not to depend on them to teach you or lead you or to educate you or do the work for you, but to begin to learn and then use what you've learned to start transitioning that to action.